Well, to conclude then, I'm very pleased with this performance report. I'll be using all of our reports to help me prepare for the retrospective meeting. And I'd like to get some input from all of you before I get down to the writing. I think it's a good time to look back and identify our high and low points and any lessons we've learned. Karen, can you make some notes for me, please? Okay, who'd like to start?
Well, I suppose I can start. I've learned a lot on this project. In particular, I've learned so much about the importance of leadership and teamwork from you and Tim.
Oh, thanks, David. That's good to hear.
It's true. We've had a few problems to deal with, and they were all solved calmly and without blame.
Can we look at one of the issues in more detail and see if there were any lessons to be learned?
Well, for example, we had problems with the design engineers. Right at the start, there was a delay when they were working on another project. And when Jenkinson's had a change of requirement,
I found it difficult to get the designers to focus on our project again.
Yes, that's a good point, Tim. I think we were all aware of your problems, but you managed to organize the designers in the end. Any comments?
Well, but we had to pay some overtime, didn't we? Any delay like this affects our budget, so I think Tim's right to bring this up.
Thanks for the support, Karen. I think we have a real problem in the engineering department.
all the engineers are excellent, but the design section is overworked. We need to strengthen the department by recruiting one more design engineer, I think.
Well, that would also affect the budget, wouldn't it? But this is something I can bring up at the end of the project when I talk to the department heads.
Thanks, Anne. Shall I write a short report on the effect on the project constraints?
Yes, Tim, that would be very helpful. So we need to consider all the areas where there's a need for improvement, where there are lessons to be learned. Can you think of another one, Tim?
Well, I think we had a systems breakdown over the contractor delay.
What do you mean, Tim? I thought we handled it well.
Yes, once we became aware of the delay, but it came as a surprise to us. We should have known about the possibility of delay before they informed us.
So how could we have avoided that surprise element, and what lessons can we learn for future projects?
It's about communication, isn't it?
Yes, I think you're right, David. We had formal channels of communication with Jenkinson, didn't we? And regular meetings. But at the beginning of the project, we relied on Jenkinson to tell us what was happening with the contractors. It was only when we were told about the delay that we started to work with Burgett.
Excellent point, Karen. So what should we have done to avoid this problem?
Well, in future projects, I think right at the beginning, we should identify all the people or companies who might have an effect on the project, even though they're not our direct clients.
Yes, I agree with you, Karen. And then we should set up direct communication systems with everyone so that we don't get any more nasty surprises.
But of course, we'd have to get permission from our clients to approach subcontractors, wouldn't we? Because they'd have confidentiality issues too, wouldn't they?
Yes, we'd have to think carefully about how we go about it, but I think it's something we'll definitely be doing in the future. Previously, we've only identified direct stakeholders and haven't really done enough to identify others, such as subcontractors, who might present risk factors which are not under our control. It's getting a bit late now, but I'd really like to hear more from all of you about lessons we could take away from this project. So make it a priority to get back to me in the next few days with your ideas, will you? Now, before we go, I'd just like to pass on something I've just heard about. It looks as though Jenkinson's is going to automate 2 other production lines in the next 2 years, and based on what we've achieved with this project, it's highly likely that Alpha Automation will be awarded the contract. So whatever mistakes we might have made, management is very pleased with us.
Well, that's fantastic. Hey, how about we go out to dinner after work and celebrate?